Hey, welcome back to A Faster Me. It's taking a while to get this one out, but this is still CBR number 2. This is going to be the category, the open category 3-4 race. This is my first time doing a non-masters race, going on 2 years now. So yeah, new category for me, the open 3-4. I jumped into the 3-4 race because the guys on my team, all of my Cat 4 guys were in this race, so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to race with them and just be in the field together. So it's not like we really raced together, but it's still good just to be in the field with them and have a little fun. So anyway, course preview. You can see the map on the left, just a 4-corner crit. This is turn 2 here. It's pretty much flat to I don't know, for the most part, the entire course is flat. There is a kicker, kind of false flat and a kicker, so it's going to be slightly downhill, slightly uphill majority of the lap. And then with a nice little 4% kicker after we make the right turn here in turn 3. Fastest corner on the turn, sorry. Yeah, you can see the cones to the left narrow it a little bit. Got to keep a lane open for the trucks. But yeah, this is the only kicker here, 4%, little over 4%. Then another right turn for turn 4, and it leads to a short sprint to the finish line, maybe about 75 to 100 yards. So really, whoever comes out of this corner first, for the most part, wins the race. So yeah, that's one lap. And this race is going to be 40-minute race. Just turning my phones down real quick before I get some, interference here with the phone noise. So that's Dennis to my right there from UCSD. Yeah, I thought I'd hang out with Dennis a little bit. He's a really good, efficient racer. Uses the Peloton to kind of save energy and stay tucked away in some decent spots. I'm really racing the 50 plus later, so this is my first race of the day, and the 50 plus is later in the day. So I was just trying to sit in, get a little exercise. I haven't been able to ride during the week that much just because of running the team and work and stuff like that. So probably start racing multiple times on the weekend just to try to get a little fitness back. So again, like I said, this is my first time racing this field in a couple years, so not really familiar with everyone in the race, other than just people I know, but not really familiar with like who's the big players, and it changes all the time since this is a new to mid category field. New riders kind of with the Cat 4s and mid-pack, not mid-pack, but like middle ability riders with the Cat 3, which I'm a Cat 3 as well. And on the guys' side, there's not really a lot of team tactics in a lot of the like Cat 3 races, Cat 4 races. There's not a lot of team tactics going on. I think we got endurance in here. They have a decent numbers and they can do some team tactics and things like that. You got KRT as well, and I think those might be the only decent sized teams in the race. UCSD may have a few people as well, but I'm not sure, how much team tactics and stuff like that they do. You got the guys from Pete Cycling in here. I think they have maybe 3 riders, 4 riders. But yeah, the majority of the field is riding solo, and I think we had about 70 riders on this morning. That's Nicholas right there in front of me with LABA. It's good to see Nicholas out here racing again. I don't think I've seen him all year, so I don't know if this is his first race back or not, but, it's just good to see him out here. That's Josh in my kit right there to the left for A Faster Me. Josh has been doing really well this year in the Category 4 races. Got a couple podiums. I think I don't know if it's 3 podiums, 2 podiums, but he's on a good run right now with podiums. He represented us well out at Valley of the Sun. I want to say he took 8th or 9th in the GC for Cat 4 out there. And, may not sound like a big deal to some people, but it's a really tough field. When you go to Valley of the Sun, it's a national level race, and people come from all over. It's not just like an Arizona race. People are from all over, and it's really competitive. And a lot of people kind of sandbag the race. They're really Cat 3s or should be a Cat 3, but they wait and race Cat 4 in that race, and then Cat up to Cat 3 after. They want to get like a national level win or, a good finish in a stage race before catting up. So Josh did great in that, like I said, and, ended up securing 9th in the GC or 8th. So that's Josh and Chris on the right side. There's a breakaway up there. So they went to try to see if they can kind of put in a little effort, run back the break. But there's a break off the front right now. I think it's about 4 riders off the front. So I can tell you this, like I said, this is my first time doing this category again for a while. But definitely different than the 50 plus, in the Master Series, the 50s and the 40s. The 50s and the 40s are much smoother, much more consistent with speed and more predictable. I think this field, one thing I noticed, and this is just my assessment, so take it how you will, but I think one of the biggest I guess issues is when we are in a pack and we're riding 4 or 5 across or whatever, the biggest issue, in my opinion, is people not understanding like cornering and corner turn in. So what I've noticed is a lot of riders that are to your outside, they just start turning, and they can't turn. They shouldn't be turning until the inside turns first. That's just how it works. The inside controls the angle, the turn-in points. So if you're on the outside, even if it's just on the outside of one person, you can't turn until the person to your inside turns first. So just delay your turn like a fraction of a second. As soon as that person turns, you turn, and that person dictates the line. But you got guys on the outside yelling, hold your line, or just trying to start their turn in first, and that's what causes incidents. You can't turn. You have no control. If you want control over the turn, move to the inside. That's just how it works. You dictate, the inside dictates the turn, it dictates the line, and when you're on the outside, you have to wait for the inside to turn before you start turning. So you'll see in a second there's going to be an incident in turn 1, and that's the exact cause of the incident. The guy on the outside just starts turning in. He pinches the guy on the inside. And I'm not talking about a dive bomb line on the inside. I'm talking about just inside position. So I'll point it out when you see it, and when I see it. But yeah, that's just one of the main issues I see here is how people turn. They don't understand, the hierarchy of turning. And like I said, if I see a dive bomb, that's completely different. A dive bomb comes in at a completely different angle, shouldn't be there. The dive bomb's late, out of position. The person on the outside typically can't see them. But even a dive bombs are not on the outside. Dive bombs are on the inside, and that really still affects the inside rider, or both inside riders. That's Lance in front of me there from KRT. I haven't raced with Lance in a while either, probably a couple years. Back when we were Cat 4s. Yeah, we're kind of riding the back of the pack right now. You can see up front, like they've already turned turn 1. There's still a little break off the front as well. Both these races that I did today too, or on this day, they both were about the same speed, almost the exact same speed really. This race, we were right at about 27 miles per hour. I think I was 26.8. So the guys up front, they were probably 27 miles per hour. That's Matt also. Lance and Matt are teammates with KRT. But yeah, both races were about the exact same speed. The only difference is, like I said, this one is a little more stop and go. The corners aren't as smooth. Other than that, they're pretty comparable. The 50 plus people are just really experienced, really smart. So You know, the race dynamics are a little bit different, but overall, like, speed is about the same. It's just how it happens is a little bit different. So yeah, overall, I was pretty efficient in both races. You know, like I said in the other race. So this race, I averaged, if I can remember correctly, I think I averaged only 200 watts and 230 or 235 normalized. I can't remember exactly. And then in the 50 plus, I was actually a lot lower, even though the speed was the same. See, there's the incident I'm talking about there. The rider on the outside just started turning in before this rider was able to turn. I forgot his name from stage 2. But yeah, so he was locked up. I was locked up just from not, you know, trying not to run into the back of him. But the guys behind me were yelling as well, thinking I just hit my brakes for no reason, which obviously there's a reason. But if you saw the rider 2 is outside, just turned in. And yeah, when there's a rider on your inside, you can't turn in until the rider on your inside turns. Now, I will say the rider from stage 2, he may have been slightly behind the other rider, so he may have been out of position just a little bit. I'd have to rewind it and look at it, but either way it goes, when you're in a pack like that and we're kind of 5 wide, whatever, yeah, just have a little patience. Delay your turn in just a split second. I'm talking like a quarter of a second, and that keeps everybody in line. When you're on the outside, it's just what you have to do. You have to be more patient when you're riding on the outside. So yeah, my man right here on the orange bike, he was the one that got pinched a little, but he was pretty shaken after that. Just not real shaken, you know, just we were kind of chatting about it, and you know, I think he thought that I was saying he did something, but he was like, yeah, I got pinched, you know. I was like, oh, I saw the whole thing, you know, I'm right behind you. Yeah, most of these turns too, they're not real sharp, so we can pedal through most of them. You know, I talked about this before. Pedaling through turns is great, but it's really great to like keep your power smooth, keep your bike stable. It's not necessarily the fastest line just because you can pedal through it. Um, you know, you can actually carry a little more speed, turn at a sharper angle just for a fraction of a second, and suspend your pedal for a fraction of a second. That's actually faster than just pedaling through. But pedaling through is smooth. It's fast enough. Obviously, it keeps your power in check, keeps you from spiking. Yeah, if I get a chance, I'll do this category a little bit more, especially if my guys are in there as well. You know, I spend most of my time and energy on the women's team, but we do have guys racing. I appreciate all of them. All of us guys, we pay for ourselves. But yeah, I appreciate everyone equally, and they're a valuable part of our team as well. So that's Gregory in front of me right here, Gregory Freeman. I haven't seen him in a race like in forever. Thought he was retired. He's kind of semi-retired from racing, but he jumped in this weekend. Same thing. He had all of his guys in there, the KRT guys. He's been doing some work with KRT and QRT. Yeah, you can see we're starting to slow down and just bunch up a little bit here. But there's a little example of what I was talking about there. It didn't cause any issues, but if you looked at the angles everybody was at, like the outside was turning in before the inside had a chance to turn. And it creates like a T-bone type angle. But if you look at our 50 plus race that I have a video out on, you'll see we're all in the same line. We're all smooth. Everybody's going like the same direction. There's no V in the peloton at the apex, and in this race there's like a V at the apex of each corner almost, because the outside is starting to turn in before the inside turns. And I know I've said this a lot, you know, the first 10 minutes of this video has been talking about that, but yeah, it causes an issue, and trust me, everybody here would be a lot more comfortable going through turns if we're all traveling through the turn at the same angle. But when it kind of V's, kind of shapes a little V at the apex, that's going to create some pinch type situations. People are going to think there's dive bomb situations, which there's always a dive bomb situation, throughout the race. But yeah, they just don't realize that they're causing that situation. And it's very subtle. It's not a big deal. I just, want people to be aware of it so they can see the difference. I don't think there was any crashes in this race, though, and that's one of the big differences. Like I said, the 50 plus is a lot smoother, a lot more experienced people, but we did have a crash late in the race. I think it's something that revolves around like a blown tire or a tire that rolled off the rim, something like that. You'll see it on my video if you watch the video. It's going into the last lap. Yeah, it was kind of cold this morning. Also, this race I believe was 8:30 or so, and it just felt cold. I had a hard time getting my legs to warm up. Hamstrings were dying. It's part of just being old, but yeah, it does get warm later in the day. I think we got above 80 later in the day, and it just made a big difference of like how your body felt. And 59, you see the temperature up top says 59. That's not that cold, but it just felt really cold early in the morning. You can see the different cadences here going on. Like way over to the left, you got a guy really grinding his gears over there. I think it's better to spin up going up this hill. Just saves your legs a lot and you keep your momentum a little better. But some people like to grind. But when you grind, it's hard to accelerate. It's hard to match accelerations also. It's hard to like hold the wheel in front of you. Grinding is easy to like control power and control your output, control your speed in certain situations also, having a little bit slower cadence, but it's definitely hard to accelerate and hard to match accelerations. Yeah, personally, I like to hover around 90. In big drafting races, my cadence can vary a lot, especially when you're in the draft. Obviously, you're not going to be pedaling 90 all the time. But I like to hover around 90 because it's something I can spin up to 110 or so if I need to accelerate. And it's also something you can slow down. It's a tension that you can slow down a little bit into if you need to adjust your heart rate or anything. But the main purpose is so I can be in a gear that I can spin up to about 110 or something if I need to accelerate. So as you see here coming out of the corner, like I'm always going to spin it up a little bit. As you can see, I'm over 100 now. So yeah, I like to do it this way. Just hold your momentum better, hold your speed a little bit better without spiking watts so high. And I think I was having a little bit of a heart rate issue on this day. As you can see, my heart is really low. It should be about at least 160 right now. But I have a heart issue, so it does vary. But it did appear that the heart monitor was working, just my heart wasn't working correctly. And that's normal for me, unfortunately. And yes, I feel bad when it doesn't work. I don't have power when it doesn't work. I get exhausted when it doesn't work. But sometimes I just have to keep riding through it. And then there's other times where I'm not able to and I have to pull out. Yeah, so we're about the halfway point of the race now. And like I said, I believe there's still a break off the front. There's some people trying to, put in some efforts to run it down, and then it kind of dies out for a while, and we all just are content. Then there's another surge that'll kick in, people trying to run it down again. One thing I noticed too, just comparing the 3.4 to the 50 plus, is in the 50 plus, riders are a lot more calm. It's not that they don't ride hard. If anyone thinks 50 plus is slow, it's not. Those guys are super fast. Like I said, a lot of them are ex-state champions and national champions, and things of that nature. Some of them have been pros for a long time, but in this race, I noticed like people were a little jumpy. Some people, not everyone. It's just some people were a little jumpy, like they're more animated, a little more intensity with body movements and stuff like that. And in the 50 plus, it's real calm for the most part. Even when people are making moves or whatever, it's real like stable and balanced in their moves. It's not real erratic. But yeah, we're kind of on it. We're keeping the pace pretty high here. And after a while, this little hill, it does tax your legs. Even though I like going this way better than going counterclockwise, but this hill can tax you after a while, especially if you hit it without momentum. If you go into it pretty slow, obviously you're gonna have to use decent power coming up it. But for the most part, it's a hill that you want to take with a lot of momentum. We're definitely really bunched up now. The speed is down to the low 20s. And that's just because of there's no coordination at the front to try to bring down the brake or bring back the brake. There's Critwit up there, Garnett in the black and gray in front of me. He had a good race, stayed near the front, front 20 or so most of the day, which is really good position. So right here, Lance loses a chain somehow, and I had to kind of go around him there, try to squeeze in. He was coming backwards for a second, but, luckily he got it back on. I don't know if he had to go to small ring to get it back on or not, but I never have luck with that. I mean, I don't drop chains anymore, especially with the electronic shifting. I never drop a chain with electronic shifting, but I never have good success getting a drop chain back on while I'm riding. Almost always have to pull over. But I don't have that issue anymore because I don't have any more mechanical bikes. I have one, but it's in the garage, and I'll probably never ride it again. Yeah, so I'm guessing we probably have about, I don't know, we're probably under 10 laps to go now. Probably about 8-ish laps to go or so, which I don't even know if the lap counter's on yet. I think they usually bring it up at about 6 laps to go. You can see how spread out we are, so definitely it's a slow pace right now for all this bunched up. There goes another little group of 3 trying to get off the front again. I don't think we've caught the brake yet either. I think the brake is still out. Yeah, 27 miles per hour is not that slow, but obviously it's pretty slow for this course for us to be this spread out. We came through here a couple laps ago at about 29:30. So I should have stayed with Critwood for a while here. Definitely gives a good draft. So yeah, Endure, they're doing a good job. They have a pretty big team this year. I know their guys are really active. The girls have been racing out too in the 4-5 race. But yeah, it's good to see like another big team out here. And I think they have guys in like pretty much every category. Some Masters guys, some 3s, 4s, P12s. So yeah, it's definitely good to see a big team that kind of can race every category. Yeah, a little interesting right there. The inside was slow. There's some gaps opening, and the outside had a little flow to it. So I had to get around and can just see that gaps were opening here. And like I said, we were at 27 last time we came through here. And now you can see we're at 30. So definitely another surge kicked in. Yeah, starting to thin out just a little bit, so we still have to hammer down a little bit here. Still increasing the speed. I think that might be Hitch in front of me there. Can't really tell. Yeah, I saw Jorge in the race also from Peach, and I haven't ridden with Jorge in a while now because like I said, I haven't been doing the Cat 3 races at all, not the open Cat 3 races. I might do a little bit more, but yeah, I haven't ridden with Jorge probably since maybe since he left PAA. I'm not sure if I've done any Cat 3 races since then. I know I used to do a little bit of the 30 plus 3-4, but this is just a regular 3-4 here. And my vision might be off. I don't even know if that's Hitch right there. Definitely a Peach rider though. I remember that rider was trying to get through to the right there, and I asked him to stay for just a second. Then I just opened the door for him to go through. Yeah, so it looks like we're coming in on maybe 6 laps to go now. We're doing pretty fast lap times over here. I heard the announcers say the record or the PR for this circuit is 118, which is blistering fast. I know I heard some of the times earlier in the day were like in the 140s. I have no clue what our fastest time is here or what our fastest lap is. But definitely this side is way faster than the other side. They say both courses are about the same size, but this one definitely rides like a smaller course. So yeah, we definitely got the hammer down. We're doing 28, 29 up this hill. Because like I said, it's not that much energy, not that many watts if you hit it with momentum. Get a chance to carry the speed up the hill. Saw a lot of drifting in that turn there, which is like I was pointing out. Please don't think I'm knocking people or anything like that. It's just, the characteristics of the category. Like I said, the 50 plus is like super smooth in general. We have our crashes too and stuff like that, but overall it's really smooth in the 50 plus. And you can see here, like, there's like so many different lines taken and people drifting and stuff like that. And you can see how wide everyone is. Like the gaps are even wider. You got to ride kind of close to each other, and just keeps a better draft effect. Probably makes the entire group go faster. So I would guess at that point, this group is probably physically stronger than the 50 plus. But the 50 plus keeps the same speed and sometimes faster just through experience and efficiency. All right, so we're probably down. Like I said, we're going to be probably coming into about 5 laps to go here. And I see so many red jerseys. I don't know if everybody's on the same team there or not. I'm guessing majority of them are the endurance guys, with a couple other red jerseys mixed in there. And to be honest with you, I just kind of group rode this race. I wasn't racing. I was just kind of out there just riding. You can tell, like, I'm next to the exact same people, like, throughout the entire race. So I wasn't really moving up or back or anything else. Just kind of sitting in and just drafting. So don't get confused by my power numbers or whatever, because I didn't actually race it. So someone that's actually racing probably, had to use a lot more energy, probably had a lot different numbers than what my numbers are. And even though I'm not really big, I'm, heavier than most people, even though I'm skinny. A little bit taller, a little bit heavier than the average person out here. But yeah, we're still carrying decent speed. Hasn't slowed down too much. They're still chasing the break, which the guys up front do a good job, because, spoiler alert, they do catch the break. I thought the break won during the race. I thought the break stayed away, but they end up catching them right before, I think, the last lap, or either on the last lap. Yeah, body language is definitely different now. I think there's 3 laps to go. Speed still high. Yeah, you can tell the accelerations are a little bit different out of each corner now. Instead of just carrying speed, there's like a hard punch out of each corner. As you can see there, I spiked to just about 500 watts. Yeah, and my heart rate monitor definitely is off. I don't think I'm at 80. Definitely not at 80. I would have probably passed out if I was at 80 beats. Normally I usually average in the 170s during a race. sometimes about 179 even, depending on how hard the race is. But I'm definitely not in the 80s. But like I said, I was having not the best hard day. All right, I think we're going into, I just missed it, but I think we're going into maybe 2 to go now. Maybe 3 still. Yeah, I think we're going into 2 to go. Still stretched out, you know, a little bit at the front. It's bunched up back here, but, you know, we have the typical cone shape right now. Yeah, you can see like the first maybe 8 to 10 riders are single file, and then we're all just kind of bunched up behind them. Yeah, so this has been the normal speed for the last so many laps, about 29 through here. So if it's going to be stretched out any further, it definitely needs to be a little faster. Got some riders coming backwards there. Yeah, it's always tough when the riders are in the middle of the road kind of coming backwards. You know, you got to go around right or left. Everybody's trying to pick a side. So, yeah, I think this is going into the last lap right here. You can tell people are struggling. Everybody's heads down. Yeah, when you're far back like I am, like there's no need to stress too much. It is what it is. You know, you had your chances all through the race to move up and all that. So, you know, you still try to move up a couple spots, but it's, you know, you don't do anything desperate. Like I said, you can see like multiple lines going through here. It's just a little bit different. Yeah, you got people fading, which happens all the time on the last lap. People start fading. So here, I think I'm going to go underneath the guy right here in black. I think I heard him cussing, but honestly, that's a ton of room. I left him a ton of room there. And as you move up, like I said, in the 50 plus, it'd have been way closer than that. As you move up, like you ride closer and closer together. So that was no big deal to me at all, but I think I heard him yell something behind me. Same with Matt here. Matt's going to swing to the left here, and I'm going to cut underneath him. That's just, I mean, we're way back here in the back, so it's not anything serious. And I told Matt, I was like, hey, Matt, I'm coming underneath or whatever. But, yeah, as you move up, the racing is super close, and that wasn't close at all. Neither pass was close whatsoever. But, yeah, I did hear the guy yell, so. Anyway, yeah, my bad. I wasn't, you know, hope I didn't scare you or anything. But thanks for watching. That's it for this. And, you know, hopefully we'll get to the Taylor Elizabeth Clifford Memorial next week, and I'll get some of those videos out.